We will call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Oh, hello. Okay, good. There we are. Bear with me, everyone, as I learn to fly this plane for the first time with training wheels on. So we'll call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Okay. All right.
Put your muscle into it.
Okay.
All right, Councilor Reed.
Here.
Councilor Hessman.
Here.
Councilor Kohler.
Here.
Council President Starr.
Here.
Councilor Duran.
Here.
Councilor Cross.
Here.
Youth Councilor Woodard.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
She's absent and excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, everyone, we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance, and we'd invite you, if you're able, to please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so our first, we have a couple special orders of business tonight. And the first one, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Brown to recognize a long-time valued member of the Keizer team.
Thank you, Madam Council President. It's my pleasure to recognize Attorney Shannon Johnson for 39 years of service to the city of Keizer. That is amazing service.
And so before we give you your parting gifts, I would like to give the council an opportunity to say a couple of words of no pressure, but just open the floor, the opportunity for people at the dais just to express any words that they would like to. So we will start down with Councilor Reed.
Thank you, Council President. So I have just really enjoyed working with Shannon for these last 7.5 years or so, and just really appreciate your grasp of the complexities of what we're dealing with and your ability to explain them. And you have a whole lot on your plate, and yet you keep us abreast of what we need to know, and you prioritize well, and just skills that we've really appreciated. And I also appreciate you being a good mentor to our new city attorney, and we will sorely miss you, but wish you the best.
Thank you, Madam Council President. Shannon, it's been a short relationship on my end, but at the same time, I'm so grateful for your tutelage in the time that I've had together with you. And also, I appreciate you so much for being in some ways, the root of institutional knowledge in this city. Institutional knowledge is such a valuable thing, and people don't necessarily realize it till it's gone, but you wear it with such class and such dignity and decency. And for that, darn it, for a lot of the longtime staff members who do their work with the professionalism that you do, it makes it exciting to come to this place every day. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem Starr.
Shaney is good.
Mr. Johnson, you'll always be my friend. You know too much. I've known Mr. Johnson for a lot of years before I started walking through these doors, and I always appreciated his willingness to serve, not only in his capacity here, but in other capacities. And that's where I met him, is serving in other capacities. And I appreciate that. I appreciate his willingness to always take time for me when I can come in and plead ignorance, which is pretty easy for me to do. And he helps me figure out what it is I'm doing. And I appreciate that. Again, I appreciate your willingness to always serve and be willing to help us move forward.
Thank you. Councilor Duran?
Yeah, I too want to just thank you for all that you've given to me in questions and answers that you've been able to help me with. I don't know if you remember back probably 2004, I worked on a project that had to do with some dike issues that I asked for some help on, and you helped clear back then. So, and everything that you've done since I've been on Planning Commission and Council, you've always been there to answer questions that, you know, may be dumb, but you were happy to give me the information, and I appreciate it.
Well, Mr. Johnson, thank you for your patience with my inquisitive nature. Thank you for having the love of Keizer that I do, so I can have the utmost respect for you, and I wish you nothing but well wishes in your retirement.
Youth Counselor, do you want to say anything?
Oh, yeah, so I obviously have not been here for long at all, but even maybe here for just a few months, I've been able to realize how much of an impact you've had on the city, and thank you for keeping the place I grew up in safe and keeping the city good.
I still have your cell phone, so you can't get too far away. Just don't change the number. But thank you for your years of service to this city. It's a true testament to your love and your dedication and your commitment to all things Keizer. So thank you again, and we wish you well in your retirement. Just don't go too far. And we'll come down and do a presentation. And then, your, so you don't forget.
We might as well offer him one of the doors to the chamber.
Thank you. Okay, so for our next special order of, go ahead. No, you can't say anything. Yes, please, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much. I didn't really plan to say much, so it's going to be real short, but I took 2 notes here. Hang on. I really want to thank the council and the great staff members I've worked with over the years. It's been fantastic. It's been a real joy, both as outside counsel and then for the last almost 15 years as in-house counsel. I really want to thank, and most of you don't know them, I think, but John Lean and Joe Hobson, who helped incorporate the city when I was in law school in the early 80s. John and Joe gave me my first start, and in a way, they kind of started Keizer too. So my thanks go out to them big time. I'd like to thank my rock, my wife, Elena Reed. Elena, will you stand up? This is my wife, Elena Reed. And suffered through a lot of late meetings. So, and I think I've got a kid with some grandkids back there. That is our boy Ben, and that is Hazel that's waving. And where are the 2 boys? Boys, stand up tall. Are you standing up? That is Remington and Shiloh in the back. It has been wonderful. It's been an experience. I can ask for anything more. I'm terribly blessed. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right. Our next special order of business is we're gonna do things just a skosh different today. There's a big camera in council chambers, so we're going to take a break after we do the swearing in. We're going to take a short recess. My goal is about 15 minutes, but it's a dog, so I might get a little distracted, and you might have to remind me to come back and get the council meeting going again. So with that, we are going to move into our swearing-in ceremony for CODA. And before we get started, I would like to invite, or as part of our swearing-in ceremony, I'd like to invite Chase and Julie Dyer to come up to the podium. Many of you may not know, or maybe you've read in the thousands and thousands of social media interactions that this has brought about. But CODA was donated to the police department by Northwest Boxer Rescue. It's a rescue near and dear to many people's hearts for the work that they do, and it's an all-volunteer run organization. So with that, I will turn it over to Chase to just say a few words.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be here this evening. Northwest Boxer Rescue is a 100% volunteer-run 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we believe that every boxer deserves the chance to live a happy life in a loving environment. By working with our committed volunteers and local veterinarians, we are able to rescue hundreds of dogs like CODA every year, and we are able to provide them with loving temporary foster homes and veterinary care while we work to find their forever homes. Many people opt to turn to a pet store or a breeder when they're looking to add a new pet to their home, mistakenly believing that if a dog is in rescue, it must be because there's a problem with that dog. And that just simply isn't true. So many dogs end up in rescue due to a death in the family, a new birth in the family, sometimes something as simple as poor fence maintenance. CODA is an amazing example of just how much rescue dogs have to offer, not just to their prospective families, but to our communities as a whole. As a rescue, it is always a privilege to host a dog and watch how they blossom. Tonight, I'm proud to say it is an honor to be here to witness CODA step into her next chapter as emotional support for courageous victims and first responders alike. We would also like to take a moment to give a special thank you to the Keizer Police Department for embracing the idea of a rescue dog to fill this crucial role. It is our hope that local jurisdictions will take notice. We would love to see more rescue dogs in prominent community roles. They have so much to offer. CODA, I know you're around here. We could not be prouder of you, little girl. You have an amazing future ahead of you, and I know you are going to do great things. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. So with that, I don't know, Lieutenant Wenning, did you want to say a few words before we jump in? Lieutenant Nelson, feel free to come up and share a little bit. And then we'll move into the swearing. Oh. I think so, yeah.
So before swearing CODA in, as our first comfort canine, also known as a therapy or facility canine, I'd like to give you in the public a brief background of the program. CODA is a 2-year-old female boxer adopted by the police department from Northwest Boxer Rescue in December of 2023. I'm assigned as her handler, and we typically work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. When CODA is off duty,
Oh, it is.
she resides with my family at
It says it's not on. Sorry, Lieutenant Nelson.
residence. There we go.
We might have you start over. Do we need to have him start over, or are we good?
Are we good?
You're good, okay.
So CODA's mission is to provide therapeutic comfort for our police officers, staff, and community members interacting with our department. She will also be attending community events like Coffee with a Cop, Blast Camp. She's had a busy start getting to know staff, meet and greets at Keizer Rotary, Keizer United. She's also met a group of elementary students at the police department for a tour. And she's had the opportunity to comfort a citizen who experienced a traumatic event. CODA and I started our first training class today through Joys for Living Animals, Joys for Living Assistant Dogs. And that training class is a 6-month course. And we're excited to start that program and see how she grows. Lastly, I'd like to recognize Counselor Starr for helping to facilitate the adoption of CODA through Northwest Boxer, and Chief Copeland, who strongly supports employee wellness and community outreach. Obviously, Northwest Boxer for their generous donation, and all of the donors who have contributed to our K-9 program. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Nelson. All right. And then there's K cookies. After, when we recess, there's K cookies out in the lobby for everyone to come and meet CODA. Maybe have the, there we go.
Okay. Coda, do you solemnly swear that you will support the constitutions of the United States and the state of Oregon, and the laws and ordinances of the city of Keizer, and you will be a good comfort dog according to the best of your ability? That's a yes, I heard. Yes.
All right, well, so with that, we will, there we go. We will adjourn for a brief recess to have cookies out in the lobby, and we'll be back at about 7:34. Hello. There we are. Okay, we're call the meeting back to order at 7:31. Oops, throwing the gavel around. All right, so picking back up where we left off, thank you so much, everyone, for your patience working through that. Committee reports. First up, Lisa, Parks report.
Good evening, City Council President, Star, counselors, and staff. It's so nice to be here tonight. I asked for volunteers to give the Parks report, and a couple people tried to put their hands up, but I shushed them and I took it, and I had to be here. Because, you know, it's all about me and the parks. I'm a big believer. Our parks meeting on the 13th of February went really well. We had a group of interested citizens. It was a Boy Scout troop and their leader, and they accidentally signed up on the list of interested citizens, thinking it was a sign-in sheet, and we made them come up and talk to us. It went really well. They were there for a citizenship and community merit badge. The troop leader was very, very nice. The Boy Scouts were really, and the last Boy Scout, Liam said, you know, we could have picked any committee to come to, and we picked this one because we really like parks, and I like politics. So I suggested he could be a youth liaison.
There you go.
And he, I believe, filled out the application. Nice. So that was really, really good. When we talked about our parks, all the park reports, people would say the parks look good. They're a little soggy, but our park staff have been working their tails off, getting everything mowed before the rains start again. So the parks look really good. We've had a reduction in graffiti. And some of the signs that had been taken down to be repainted have been returned. So that was good to know. We looked at the strategic plan and in the lens of the parks, and one thing that we thought was missing a little bit or wasn't as prominent as we'd like is ADA access in the parks. You know, in our 19 parks, it's nice to be able to have everybody be able to use them. We had a grant request, so we gave a grant to Peggy Moore for the Chalmers Jones Park for some beautification. But we still have quite a bit of grant money left, matching grant money left. So if anybody out there listening tonight is thinking about stuff that they'd like to do to help make our parks a better place, I'm gonna say special garbage can holders like that one at Keizer Rapids. That's my favorite. Please, you know, come to us. We will help you. And we just need to use the money by the end of June. Turf fields are on schedule. They're supposed to start March 1st for the process of getting them installed. Pickets at the Big Toy. When the Big Toy was first put out, you could buy pickets with your names engraved on them or things engraved on them. We're doing that again. So for $50, there will be an online form. You can fill it out online, hit submit, and you can have stuff on a picket. There is, 27 characters? I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. 22. Pickleball courts, they're going out for bid in the next few weeks, and we'd like to get them built this summer. And then on March 16th, from 9 to noon here at the Civic Center, there is the annual cleanup. And it starts promptly at 9, so if you'd like to come, show up at 8:30. You know, bring tools, be prepared. Many hands make light work, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope to see a lot of people here. And with that, I think that I'm done.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions?
Yeah, anyone have any questions? Counselor Hessman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Not so much a question as one, I just wanted to say that, and two, I was actually out at the Big Toy today with my financial advisor and my executive coach. Both are under the age of 5, so they're very discerning about their playground equipment. And Mr. Lawyer, I did just want to give your charges some propers because I saw a couple gentlemen out there fixing the tire swing around the big toy, making sure that it was in good working operation. It's perfectly clean out there, but for a little bit of wear and tear, everything is working absolutely as it should. And there were a ton of people out there today. Ton of big kids, small kids, and medium kids having just a great time. So wanted to give that shout out that the work that is being done by the maintenance crews is being seen around town, and it's good work.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? When will that form be available for people? And I would assume it's on the city website, if they want to do the stakes or the slats or whatever they're called. What are they called?
Pickets.
Pickets, thank you. Slats, pickets, stakes.
Same difference.
Thank you.
I'm going to defer to Mr. Brown, maybe? I don't know who does website stuff. Okay,
We should have the form and everything on the website by the end of this week or first of next.
perfect.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Lawyer. Counselor Cross?
Thank you so much for all that you do. Do you have an amount of pickets that you're selling, and how much are they?
They're $50 each, and there are a lot available. I don't have a count. The pickets surround the entire big toy. The fence that surrounds the big toy has pickets all the way around it. So not every one of those, but every one that is not currently engraved is available. There's got to be 500 available still. So when we put them up the first time, we concentrated on filling in the tot lot area of the big toy. So most of them are centralized there. There are some spread out in other areas because we had requests to put them by a certain amenity in the total big toy. But there's plenty of availability of pickets out there, plenty.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Lawyer. Thank you.
All right.
All right, next up will be Barbara Miner with the Keizer Community Library. And do you want to come together or do you want, okay. And is joined by Mark Northcutt.
My name is Mark Northcutt. I'm going to be the treasurer for the City of Keizer Community Library. And I want to thank you for your time today concerning our library. Now it's on. Okay. What we're going to do today is I'm going to cover shortly some of the numbers concerning the finances. I'm sure I can bore you to death. And Barbara's going to kick in with some great accomplishments that we've accomplished this year. And I don't know, do we have the end of?
Yeah.
Do they have those up? Okay, great. So as you can see from the summary on the report, of the amount that was given to us, we only spent 77% of it. And I think that has a lot to do with our donors, people that are volunteers within our community that came to us, and one particular one came and donated 2 computers for us. So we went from 4 computers for the library to 6, which I thought was pretty slick because those things are not cheap anymore. And of all the different areas you can see, they're highlighted with the blue triangle. You can see how often we're managed to, stay low or under our budget amounts. And that was our goal, was to be very prudent and frugal with the monies that we were given. And I guess at that, I'll open it up for any questions you guys might have.
Thank you, Mark. Does anyone have any questions? All right, thank
Okay,
you.
I'm going to turn it over to Barbara. She's got some great things to share with you.
Wonderful.
Yep, we had a great year, and I'll just go quickly through the packet. The library is open to everyone. That's our motto, and we believe it's in our DNA. Keizer Community Library is a low-barrier library. Every event is free, cards are free, computer usage is free. We don't ask you if you have how big your mortgage on your house is, or if any demographic information. So we can't say how many different groups of people use our library, but we do have anecdotes. And we do know that we have checked out books to teens. I put it in quotes because maybe they were 20, we didn't ask, but they had no permanent address. They were a little embarrassed, but we got them library cards. They took some books out and everyone was happy, right? Last summer, we had a couple of moms with a wagon and 4 kids who walked over from Simonka House regularly. And we know that because they said, we walked over from Simonka House, right? Maybe we have 10 moms walking from Simonka House, we don't know.
Excuse me, Barbara, can you put the microphone? Thank you.
All right. I rarely get asked to be louder. We have several volunteers who report charming situations where young children learning to read take books in English, our early reader books in English, and read them to their parents who apparently speak only Spanish. And yeah. So the things we want you to know, page 2, is that we used the money from the ARPA funds that you gave us last year. We've had more money. We spent more money than we have ever spent before, and we put it to good use. It funded growth in our critical areas. We funded more hours for our library manager, which means our library was open 4 hours more this year than last year. We're up to 28 hours, which I think might be the same as Salem now. And we paid for more children's activities, and we bought children's books, the ones that they told us they wanted to read, okay? So most of our books are donated. We get the Hardy Boys, but they want to read Dog Man, right? So when they told us what they wanted to read, we spent money to buy those books because we want those little kids to come in and find a book they're really excited about. We had 40% growth in visitors. We checked out over 10,000 books. That's a big number for our tiny little library. The highest growth category, all categories of everything rose, but the highest growth was in the early reader books, which is the most important time, right? And more than half books we checked out are kids' books. The next page is just to prove that we had goals, and this is dated the 1st January 2023. And we wrote our goals, and then I'll tell you how we met our goals. I'm an ex-engineer, that's the way we work. We measured growth in all areas, more people in the library, more books checked out. We added 2 computers that were donated, so we didn't have to use money from our budget to buy them. We gave away a lot of free books to kids. We didn't count them, maybe we will next year. And we added library hours. We had more community engagements. We partnered with a list of the Scouts, the Genealogy Society, the Marion Polk Early Learning Hub. We went to back to school nights and we gave out bilingual coupons, come to the library, get a library card and a free book. We supervised some community service hours for teens. And during the summer, we opened early, like at noon on the days that were supposed to be very, very hot because we have a nice temperature control. And we advertised that on Facebook and library website. We were also open for the ice storms in January and we served tea. And we don't have a lot of people respond to that, but they're very appreciative. Someone had their power out, right? And it's just nice. You can come read a book and pretend everything's fine. The next page demonstrates our 10,000 books that were checked out were, these are the kid books, all right? There's 3 different categories of kid books. Picture books. This is very timely, actually. The most favorite picture book checked out of our library this year was called Pups on Patrol, and we have little puppy dogs driving patrol cars. So that is the most popular thing in that particular age group. The early readers are Biscuit books. Everyone loves Biscuit, who's also a dog. And junior books, the most popular by far and away is the Dog Man series. So I guess the library loves dogs. The goal on communications, we had engaging and effective Facebook account. A lot of people responded to that. Mobile-friendly website, thanks to Jamie. And we had newsletters and Keizer Times ads and bilingual marketing materials. Goal financial responsibility, we received a grant for children's summer reading program. We implemented a successful annual appeal for funds. We used ARPA funds for our library manager. And the community does support the library. We get over 1,000 books a month donated into our tiny little office, and we sort them, and we put the best ones that we think our community would like to read on our shelves. We added 2,027 donated books to our shelves, which we approximate as a $25,000 value. But if it's a book you really want, it might be more than that, right? And the books that we can't put in our library, we go to the book sale, which is a big community event, and we also raise money from that. And we had a stunning 6,800 volunteer hours by all the people working the circulation desks, the sorting, the shelving, cataloging, and special projects. So we had a great year, and we're planning for another one. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Councilor Hessman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Shaney?
I'm not going to stop doing that all night, by the way. The formality is just seared into me. Barbara Mark, thank you so much. Absolutely love these parts of the council calendar because I love hearing the updates. So thank you for that. I am curious as to what you think regarding the fact that at this point, a quarter of all of your checkouts, based upon the data that you've sent us, are picture books. So
A quarter of the kids' books. And all of this graph is just the kids' books, which is 57% of what we check out.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking half of a half is a quarter.
Oh, yes.
Basically.
Yes.
So.
Yes, okay. Yes. We have a thrilling preschool story time that we have sometimes 20 kids show up. And they all check out books afterwards, and it's been very consistent, and they love Mark, and they want to help him check out books.
Yes.
And they come because they know the people are consistent and friendly, and it's fun, and that, I think, is the basis for the success of the picture books increase.
A feather in the library's cap, absolutely. And my question, I guess, is, what are you going to do about it? Because now that's obviously a really successful part of what the library is, and you want to build on your strengths, to be sure.
Absolutely.
So how does something like that inform how you're thinking of, 2024 growth and maybe even a little beyond?
I have data of every success we have, and you don't have long enough to hear me tell you about it, but there.
No, I don't, but let me give you your pulpit here.
Okay. Just cut me off when you're done. So we do keep track of type of books that are checked out every month, and we compare them this year to last year and the trends and what is the highest month. And we work with that. We look for those pieces of success and try to enhance them. We actually need more books in the junior section because sometimes we had all of the books on the shelf checked out. So that's an indication that we need more books. But yes, we look at the success. When it doesn't work, you never really know exactly why, right? But when it does work, we go for it, and the kids are our strength.
I appreciate you calling it out. Thank you. Sorry about that, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Are there any other questions? Just one comment. If Pups on Patrol was the most popular picture book, I believe that calls for story time with Coda.
Yes, we have already decided that. This
Yay.
is the executive team, and we agreed that
right.
story time with
Great.
Coda would be a great thing.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your volunteer time and efforts. We appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Whalen, do you want to speak now, or do you want to wait until your agenda item? Well, how about we wait till your agenda item unless OB needs to go home? I can see that, yeah. Okay, just checking. All right, thank you. I do want to make a note to enter into the public record some written comment that we received via email, quality of life policing methods, and that was sent on behalf of several citizens. Do I need to read their names into the record? No? Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. I just will note that it is entered into the record for public comment. Thank you very much. All right, I think that takes us now to the next item on our agenda, which is we are public comment. Is there anybody here, public comment, that didn't sign up? We're kind of already there. All right, I'm looking around. All right, public hearings. Walk me through these, hold my hand. The first one up is the 2024 liquor license renewal.
That's right, and I believe Ms. Bissett is going to start out talking about that. But this is where you go ahead and invite the public.
Okay. Oh, I have my little
to go ahead and
script, right?
speak. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, open the public hearing. I'm sorry, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Walk me through, please, step by
okay.
step.
Yeah. So did you want to hear from Melissa first, or do you want to open the public hearing?
Whichever. Just tell me what to do, please.
I would go ahead and hear from her first.
Okay.
And that way people can make comments.
Thank you. Ms. Bissett?
Okay. The Oregon Liquor License and Cannabis Commission, commonly referred to as OLCC, requests that cities make a recommendation on OLCC license renewals annually based on district location. The city of Keizer is located in District 2, and the licenses for District 2 expire at the end of March. Keizer has 68 establishments that are up for renewal. We also have a city ordinance that relates to liquor licenses, and so a public hearing was properly noticed and scheduled for this evening. We did not receive any written comments for the renewals, and using the guidelines in the city ordinance, the police department determined that none of the establishments were found to be in violation of the ordinance, and that there was no history of serious or persistent problems detected at any of the establishments up for renewal. The planning department also had an opportunity to comment on the zoning issues for each of the establishments, and there were no zoning violations noted. So staff recommends that the city council open the public hearing, receive any testimony, then close the public hearing and make a motion to recommend approval of the liquor licenses listed in the staff report for the upcoming year.
Great, thank you. Okay, I am now gonna open the public hearing for the 2024 liquor license renewals. Would anybody like to comment, sign up for public hearing? I don't have anybody signed up. Going once, going twice, 3 times. No comments, okay.
You can close it.
I am gonna close the hearing. All right, thank you.
And then, so then there should be a motion.
There is.
Yeah.
All right, I move the city council recommend the renewal of the listed liquor licenses of establishments located in the city of Keizer and forward this recommendation to the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to renew the listed liquor licenses of establishments located in the city of Keizer and forward this recommendation to the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission, the OLCC. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right, the next item on the agenda is another public hearing and some resolutions. We're going to break these out individually, and we're going to do the first resolution, and then we will vote on that as a city council, and then if appropriate, we will open the public hearing to hear about the supplemental budget. And then we will adopt the second resolution related to approving, or we will vote on the supplemental budget resolution. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Wood.
Council President Starr, City Council. As reported at the February 5th, 2024 City Council meeting, the non-represented employee salary survey and citywide internal pay equity review have been completed, with 9 classifications recommended to be adjusted, impacting 16 employees retroactively to July 1st, 2022, and 14 employees effective January 1st, 2024. Recommendations from the executive leadership team, supported by the Personnel Policy Committee and confirmed by the City Council on February 5th, 2024, was to direct staff to prepare a resolution accepting the non-represented employee salary survey citywide internal pay equity review recommendations, and a resolution accepting a mid-year additional pay adjustment for all non-represented employees for consideration at today's city council meeting. The attached resolutions are as directed, along with 2 additional resolutions to accomplish the necessary supplemental budgets. Specific to the financial impact, implementing the non-represented salary survey and citywide internal pay equity review is approximately $145,100. That's broken into police department, $110,000, administrative services, city attorney, which is $28,600, stormwater fund, $2,400, administrative services, city recorder, $2,100, and event center fund, $2,000. The financial impact of implementing a mid-year cost of living increase for non-represented employees is $36,100. The vast majority of that, again, is general fund police department, $10,800. I won't go through the whole listing because it's quite long of all the different departments that are impacted. But with that, there are 4 resolutions. 2 of those are supplemental budgets to move the dollars to the appropriate categories. With these adjustments, we are moving the funds from contingency for the respective fund into the personnel services line items. And with that, if there's any questions, I'd be free to address them.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this staff report? Councilor Cross?
I don't even know what I'm supposed to call you. Thank you, City Council President Shaney or something, Mayor. So I guess because everything's bunched together right now, when am I supposed to just make sure that I don't think I did a very good job of being eloquent in why I oppose this. So at what point am I just want to make sure that I'm on the record with these dollars spent and why I'm against them.
So let's ask any questions on this staff report, and then we're going to break out the first resolution, and we'll ask Councilor Reed in a moment to make that, put that motion on the table so we can have discussion. But we're going to do resolution number 1, which has to do with approving the 2021 to 22 non-represented employee salary survey.
So ask him questions about what he just said.
About the staff report.
Okay, so I heard a lot of different departments are being cut. What percentage of that affects the police?
I don't have the exact percentage, but vast
Okay,
majority.
just rough, 80%, 90%?
Oh, gosh. I would,
The way I look at it is like 85.
yeah, probably about 75, 80.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on this staff report?
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2024, approving 2021 to 22 non-represented employee salary survey, 2023 to 2024 citywide internal pay equity review, and implementing changes.
Second.
Great, thank you. It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R 2024, approving the 2021 to 2022 non-represented employee salary survey, along with the 2023 to 2024 citywide internal pay equity review and implementing changes. Discussion. Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay. Yep. We have noes, 2, Councilor Cross and Councilor Kohler. Do I need to name the affirmative votes?
No.
Okay, great. Motion passes. Okay, now I'm going to open the public hearing on the supplemental budget. Anyone like to comment? Anyone that didn't sign up? I don't have anybody signed up, but I want to give them an option. Okay, I don't see anyone, so we will close the public hearing. And we're going to move to the resolution for the supplemental budget.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2024, authorization for supplemental budget, non-represented salary survey, and citywide internal equity review.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R 2024, authorization for the supplemental budget for the non-represented salary survey and citywide internal equity review. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Right. And the motion carries, 1 opposed, Councilor Cross. All right, the next resolution, Mr. Wood, is there anything that you had to add to that when adopting the cost of living increase?
I have nothing else to add, thank you.
Okay, any other staff? All right.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2024, adopting cost of living increase for non-represented city employees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R 2024, adopting the cost of living.
I'm just waiting, go ahead.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R 2024, adopting the cost of living increase for non-represented city employees. Discussion?
Thank you. That's probably, I was getting confused. There was a lot of things bunched into there. Sorry, Shani.
That's okay. Yeah, that's why we tried to break it out.
Thank you. The discussion there is, and I just want to point out that at our last meeting, we were talking about, really, my goal is meeting in the middle. So we were talking about, so we had $100,000 budgeted, but now we are taking $145,100 out of contingency. So to me, that means nothing's budgeted because we're taking it out of savings. And the next thing I just wanted on the record is that $410,000 were those frozen police salaries. We still have $135,000 remaining, but none of those are going to actual salary funds. So that is on the record, and that's why I'm opposing it. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries. One opposing, Counselor Cross.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2020.
Oh, wait a minute, sorry. I think I forgot to open the
Yeah,
public
there's a
hearing.
public,
Sorry.
second public hearing.
Why?
Hands up.
Sorry. Stop. Okay. I would like to open the public hearing regarding authorization for the supplemental budget. I don't see anybody signed up, but I am happy to have people comment on this loaded agenda item of lots of resolutions. Okay, nobody? All right, I will close the public hearing. Now, Counselor Reed.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2024, authorization for supplemental budget, cost of living increase for non-represented city employees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt Resolution R 2024, authorization for supplemental budget, cost of living increase for non-represented city employees. Discussion? Okay. Counselor Cross?
Thank you. So I guess when we went through all that, Mr. Wood, so I know that was kind of a loaded question at the beginning. So we went through all what we took out of contingency, what we froze, when we froze those 3 police positions. Now, when we're cutting back and you listed the different items, what percentage is taken from the police fund with those cuts? You said about 75 to 80. Is that still the same?
For this specific
Fiscal
line
year,
item
and for,
we're
yeah,
talking about now, it's
for this
about
exercise.
35-40% for this adjustment is police related.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Kohler?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Sorry. It just sounds so cool. Mr. Wood, is this keeping us from hiring another officer at this point? I mean, is it affecting our budget that way or that much?
No, it's really the impact for the general fund is, well, between the two budget adjustments, we're looking at 120,000, 130,000, I think. And we're pulling all of that out of contingency. We knew the salary study internal equity review was coming, so during the budget committee process last year, we allocated 100,000 to contingency in the event that we needed to do this. So really, you're looking at an additional 20 to 30,000 that we're pulling from contingency, and that would only cover maybe a fourth of an officer.
Follow up?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. She's gonna hit me.
I'll kick you. It's not on tape.
So, do we have any room to negotiate that at all? In other words, to say, we budgeted this amount, could we have negotiated, what months that that went back to, or is that pretty much a blanket, we had to do the whole thing? Maybe that's something Ms. Tapina could answer for me.
Well, I'll take a quick stab at it, but then I'll turn it over to the expert. And we tried to line it up with when the study, respective study was completed. So we felt a little bit of an obligation to go back to those time periods, but I'll turn it over to Ms. Tapina.
Councilor Kohler, in response to your question, part of the reason we spent a lot of time at the last meeting going through the timeline of events was to be clear about the reasons that we did each of the studies that we did and what they're supported by. In the case of the salary survey, we have city personnel policy that says that we will conduct a salary survey for our non-represented employees every 4 years, and that we will implement the results of that. So what we did was, as was described, rather delayed final review of that, but the intent and the data was collected at the time that it was supposed to be collected. It was the review that took longer. That means, in essence, that if we were following our personnel policy and the intent of it, that we would still follow that guideline and that timeline. That was the recommendation made by the exec leadership team, because we did not want to send a message to our non-represented employees that we're treating them differently than our represented employees in how we look at pay and how we commit to making sure they're equitably paid in light of the other organizations we compare ourselves to, and in-house, how they compare to other employee classifications. So with the policy manual saying this is what we do, and us not saying we're changing our mind and we're doing something different, we feel that that's still a commitment. That was presented to the Personnel Policy Committee and discussed a number of times, and they agreed with that recommendation. In addition, the Equal Pay Act is folded into this process. And it's a fairly complicated legislation that has been rolled out over the period of the last many years. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, it's only last month that employees who feel that they may not be treated fairly by their employers can actually start filing lawsuits. So that means we don't have any case law yet to let us know exactly how the Bureau of Labor and Industries and others will actually translate the implementation of the law and the types of cases filed. But one important thing to consider is this is not like some other types of legal situations where, as an employer, you're fined once for an overall activity. Every single paycheck is an action item, according to this legislation. So every single one, if there's a determination that the employer is in the wrong, would be an incident with fines and fees and back pay required. So we've got both of those things playing at the same time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Counselor Cross?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem Star. Just to follow up on that and tell me if I'm correct or not, Mr. Wood, when I asked what the difference in dollar amount figures were, if we would have just gone back to the beginning of 2023 fiscal year, it would have been a dollar amount for anyone watching at home. It would have been the difference between paying out $145,000, 100, to paying $85,000. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, and then how many police officers are we short right now? For people watching at home that are paying that fee?
Gosh, I think we're two.
Do we plan on being fully staffed in the next upcoming fiscal budget?
Well, that'll be up to the budget committee, depending on what they want to do as
How
far
are
as police fees
we looking
go. So,
percentage-wise?
It's really, I appreciate the question for sure. That would be our intent, to be fully staffed.
Okay, I'm not sure who sent me the email, I'll have to go back, but I believe one of the two of you said that we'll probably be down one today.
That may have been me. It's a math problem that we're trying to solve to figure out how to pay for all the two that are, there's more than that vacant now, but we've given authorization to fill. But we'll be trying to find a way to fund the other two, all the ones that are on the books.
Okay, great. I just want anyone that's watching at home and really watching the dollars they're spending, that they know where the dollars are going. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Ms. DePina, just a quick clarification. Can you remind me about the process? I know we have, we go through negotiations with our represented employees, but how do we figure the cost of living? Because wondering if you can just explain, especially for people that haven't been through the process, how we got the cost of living increase now for our non-represented employees versus it happening at like the beginning of the fiscal year, knowing what we come into. So if you would just.
Certainly.
Thank you.
As we did talk about this at the last meeting, and so I'll kind of repeat that information tonight. Responsive to concerns raised at the conclusion of the Keizer Police Association collective bargaining, which was in July 2023, there was concern that the city ensures that we're fair and equitable with our non-represented employees with respect to pay and benefits. Included was a presentation to the Personnel Policy Committee on January 29th and the Council on February 5th, and a recommendation for additional pay adjustment for all non-represented employees. Based on our ongoing review of such increases for our represented employees, as well as increases provided by our comparable municipalities for the classifications that are not represented in the city of Keizer, we are recommending a 1% pay adjustment for all non-represented employees effective January 1. We essentially, with the collective bargaining agreements, they have traditionally been about every 3 years. And so, and then of course, as I mentioned, the city personnel policy is for non-reps, it's every 4 years. So they're already behind an additional year in comparison to the non-reps or to the represented employees. What we've been trying to do over the last many years is keep an ongoing record of the cost of living increases provided by the comparable entities that we compare ourselves to for bargaining and non-bargaining. So those are municipalities that are near our size and are in a general geographic area close to us, offer typical services like we do. And we learned that just since the last time we provided a cost of living increase to our non-represented employees, there's been additional cost of living increases provided by the comparable entities at a level that is, I believe it's 1.5% to 2% more than what we've done so far. So that means we continue to fall behind, and we have tried over the years to make sure that as soon as we possibly can, we make up that difference so that the next time we do a salary survey, we're not so far behind that we have half or more of our classes all needing to be adjusted. We've also been somewhat lucky so far as to not lose too many people based specifically on the fact that they can get paid more elsewhere or feeling that they're not treated fairly here, but we have had a couple, and we'd like to see that not increase.
Right. Thank you, Ms. DePina. And just a couple of follow-up questions. When you say effective January 1, that's January 1, 2024?
Correct.
Great, thank you. And then the second follow-up is we have uniformed officers that are considered non-represented employees that this would impact, correct?
That is correct.
Great, thank you. Is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries with one in opposition, Councilor Cross. All right, moving on to our next agenda item under administrative action, the West Keizer Neighborhood Association Annual Report. And who gets this one, Miss Rhonda and Miss Carolyn?
Good evening, Madam Pro Tem.
Star, and council and staff. My name is Rhonda Rich. I'm president of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association for 2024.
And I am Carolyn Homan, Secretary of West Keizer Neighborhood Association.
And we're here tonight to kind of give you synopsis of the annual report that you got in your packet, which is posted on the website. And it's more kind of a chronological accounting of the year. So it's going to be a little different format. But I do want to go over these items because we are televised and we want to encourage people to come to our meetings and know what we're about. So our general meetings are held on the second Thursday of each month, except for June, July, August, and December. Our meetings are typically attended by 20 to 25 people. We meet at Keizer City Hall, and thanks to Lily Vaughn and Nolan Gonzalez for always making a welcoming place for us. Our board meetings are held the first Thursday of the month of our general meetings, and we meet at various board members' homes. We're publicized through email. We have approximately 200 members on our email list, the city website, the Chamber of Commerce calendar, the Keizer Times, the Facebook, our Facebook, and the website www.westkeizerna.org. Our GoDaddy website manager is Barbara Smith-Henke, who does a great job. All meeting minutes and general information can be found on the website. Informational flyers are provided at West Keizer Parks and Cummings School, and you have one of those in front of you. And we also you also have a little library bookmark that we put in each of our books at our little library to help promote us. Yard signs are posted the weekend before our meetings, thanks to board member Art Maurer and Dennis Phipps. We also participated at the Keizer Fest this last year and the 40th birthday party to distribute information and talk to interested parties along with the other 4 neighborhood associations. So the elections that were held in 2023 at the annual meeting in January, I was elected president. Chris Adams, who's here in the audience, was vice president, and Carolyn Homan is secretary. Director is Carol Phipps, and she's here tonight. Art Maurer, Rob Witters, and Gary Blake. In July, Chris Adams resigned due to health issues, and Carol Dorfler, who's in the audience too, was appointed by the board as vice president, completing the 7-member board. And I hand it over to Carolyn.
And we would like to publicly recognize and thank the following people who have given of their time and to come and share information at our general meetings. We always try to have an informative program. Mayor Clark presented State of the City in March, was hosted by West Keizer and jointly planned and attended by the other 4 neighborhood associations. Councilor Laura Reed and Councilor Kyle Duran are the council liaisons to WKNA. They provide council representation at the monthly meetings and share ideas. They're a great resource for us. City Manager Adam Brown has come and outlined the strategic planning process and also updated us on the Keizer Rapids turf fields. Police Chief John Teague gave an overview of his 34 career, 10 of those at Keizer Police Department. We thanked him and honored him with a retirement party with cake and punch. And as a side note, we also thanked Tracy Davis and Debbie Lockhart at other meetings and thanked them for their long service to the city. Chief Ryan Russell of the Keizer Fire Department and Joe Van Meter on their board shared information on the 5-year operating levy that was on the November ballot. Anne Marie Storms, Keizer Fire District Deputy Fire Marshal, gave a presentation on emergency preparedness. Ben Crosby, Keizer Code Enforcement Officer, explained procedures to file a complaint and his areas of responsibility and the management of graffiti in the city. Jenny Ammon, Environmental Education Coordinator for Keizer, presented information on community events targeted to care for our waterways and parks. Eric Bandonis, Probation Parole Deputy with Marion County Sheriff's Department, visits the meetings quarterly to give his report, and he also shares information from Keizer Police Department. Patrick Pardo, Keizer CERT representative, updated us on CERT activities. The Cummings PTA liaison, Amber Zimbelman, updates us on the school's events. Shannon Valdez from Salem Kayak Rentals and Tours, Oregon Guided Kayak Tours, offered some free opportunities to the community to enjoy kayaking, and also she also partners with many groups such as Cancer and Alzheimer's nonprofits and Willamette River Keepers. Mary Jo Emmett, caretaker of the John Knox Presbyterian Church Community Gardens on Cummings Lane, updates us on reports. That's a great asset to our community. And Oregon State Representative Kevin Mannix and his bilingual community outreach coordinator, Kim Monroy, also updates us on legislative bills and actions. And finally, James Lilac, president of Keizer Chamber of Commerce, reported on Keizer Fest activities for us.
Along with all those names, I would like to just thank Shannon Johnson for helping us throughout the years. We've had some big issues of across the river, and that's been resolved. So I just wanted to let you know. You don't need to stick around, no. Thank you. The highlights of the year 2023 are the newsletter, which we post on our website, and that's compiled by Carolyn and Rob Witters, who is our vice president. He couldn't make it tonight. We send that out March, August, and December, 3 times a year. Very professionally done. These guys do a great job, and the latest edition can be found on the West Keizer Neighborhood Association website. And Cummings School, we partner with. We have a beautification project that we've been doing for years, and it's led by Carol Phipps, and she's in the audience here, and she's on the board. She's been assisted by Kathy Lincoln, Carolyn Homan, Carol Dorfler, and myself. We plant flowers under the reader board, maintain flower pots around the school entrances, just make it really nice for the teachers and the parents. In March, we delivered cookies to the staff in partnership with Keizer United's Operation Encouragement Project before spring break. We met with the entire school at the flagpole at the last day of school ceremony in June and participated in Ruby Bridge's Walk to School walk around the neighborhood, sponsored by Safe Routes to School last November. The liaison to the WICNA is a Keizer community member, Chris Adams, and she updates us of the wonderful things that are happening over at our library. Our little library is at the corner of Shoreline and Rafael, and Carol Dorfler manages that, and she's assisted by her husband, Martin, who had to replace the little library that got ran into in January, the ice storm as a hit and run. So we don't know who did it, but it's back up and running. And then the collection of food for the Keizer Community Food Bank, Dennis Phipps, Carol's husband, and Carol helps too. We have food barrels at Weimart and Copper Creek Mercantile and Keizer Fire District. And we thank them for hosting the food barrels. Dennis delivered 3,250 pounds of food and $580 of cash to the Keizer Community Food Bank at Faith Lutheran Church on River Road last year. Board members, this year we purchased our WICNA t-shirts. We wear that at community dinner and the Keizer Fest, and it's just kind of a fun thing we've done. At Thanksgiving, many of the board members and family members participate in serving approximately 500 meals at the St. Edward's Community Dinner. We support the West Keizer parks. Members participate in events such as Earth Day, Soggy Day in the park, and Trashy Tuesday. At Willamette Manor Park, we planted and watered about 135 kinnikinick plants, spread bark dust in the spring and fall on the hillside next to the play structure to stabilize the hill and beautify the area. This was led by Carol Phipps. Participants were Carolyn Dennis Phipps, Carolyn and Tom Holman, Kathy Lincoln, Gary Blake, and myself. At Palmacia Park, Gary Blake's not here tonight, but he's on the board and he continues to support the park. He goes over there almost daily and picks up debris. He's kind of the steward of that park. He moved 2 loads of wood chips around the picnic tables last April by himself. Wallace House Park, we had a fall pollinator planting project that we partnered with Keizer Rotary Satellite Club and the Claggett Creek Watershed Council, and many of our members participated in that. The Keizer Rapids turf fields, WICNA continues to be involved in the planning and funding of the fields to have adequate parking and minimize light pollution into the neighborhood, along with supporting sporting events for our community. WICNA requested that Representative Mannix request some funding in the 2024 short session. So we'll see how that turns out. You might recall that we had a traffic blitz back in end of 2021, as initiated by Carol Dorfler, president then. Chief Teague at that time suggested a speed table at the Delight and Cummings crosswalk by Cummings Elementary School, as well as making the intersection of Dearborn and Shoreline a four-way stop. These requests were presented at the February 2022 Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee meeting and submitted to Public Works Bill Lawyer in April 2022. In September 2022, it's a little ways back, a little history, the City Council approved installation of both the speed table on Cummings and a flashing speed signs on Shoreline. Signs were installed in mid-January 2023. Members were invited to the April 13th WICNA meeting to give comment by email and newsletter. A door-to-door survey was completed on April 8th, which included 35 homes along the route between Rafael and Chamawa. We also put door hangers on the doors. 11 residents gave positive verbal comment, 1 negative comment received by email. And Rob reported this to the Traffic Safety Bikeways Committee on April 20th, and I had also given you a report to the City Council on May 1st. The speed table was installed on Cummings Lane in September of last year. A very positive response from Principal Kronster from Cummings School was received on September 21st. In quotes, I think overall it is a great improvement, and we are so grateful for the WICNA and City of Keizer's support with this. Thank you so much for all your hard work and advocacy. So thank you for those projects being done, and I think we're done. So, and this year, I was elected in January to be president, which I'm honored to do so. It's been fun, and I'm accompanied with a great board. As I mentioned, Vice President Rob Witters and Secretary Carolyn Holman, Carol Phipps, and Art Maurer and Carol Dorfler and Gary Blake are on the board. And just want to quickly, I've been involved with the Neighborhood Association for 18 years. And 12 of those as president. I guess I like it. And then Rob Witters has been 3 years. Carolyn has been 11 years, and she's secretary for life. So, feels like it. Yeah. Carol Phipps has been involved for 5 years. Art Maurer, 12 years. Carol Dorfler, 13 years, 5 as president. Gary Blake, 16 years, and 2 as president. And I wanted to include Chris, who was on the board for 3 years. So a total, we have about 75 years of volunteerism. So I thought that was pretty cool. So the WICNA will continue this year with the activities that support our purpose for existing as stated in our bylaws. And we want to thank the City Council for your support from the general fund budget and use of the Civic Center meeting room. We now request that you extend recognition for the WICNA for the year 2024. Sorry, it's a long one, but.
Thank you. Thank you. Any counselors have any questions or comments on their report? Great. Thank you so much to all of your members of your neighborhood association for all you do for your neighborhood and the school and the community in general, the food drive and collecting the food. So it's not just impacting your neighborhood, but it's impacting our entire community, and that's seen and appreciated. So thank you very much for that. Ms. Bissett, is there anything you wanted to add to the staff report before we put the motion on the table?
No, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Councilor Reed.
I move the Keizer City Council accept the report of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association and extend recognition to the West Keizer Neighborhood Association for an additional year.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council accept the report of the West Keizer Neighborhood Association and extend recognition to the West Keizer Neighborhood Association for an additional year. Discussion? What are you gonna call me? Counselor Kohler?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to say, I appreciate all your tenacity and keep moving forward on some of those projects, because I know some of them, you go to traffic safety bike ped and they'd say, oh, well, you have to do this, and then you do something else, and then you come back. And so you went back and forth on a lot of those things, but I appreciate you continual moving forward, doing your best to move forward and make things happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Great. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you. All right. All right, the next item on the agenda looks like initiating the vacation process for a portion of 15th Avenue North. Mr. Lawyer, Mr. Brown, Mr. Lawyer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Shaney. Counselor.
An application for a property line adjustment was submitted to the city, reviewed by staff, and a decision was rendered approving the adjustment under case number 2021-14. During the review of the materials submitted with the application, staff discovered an existing fence was located in the right-of-way. The applicants were requested to contact the Public Works Director to address the issue. The Public Works Director and the City Attorney discussed the options available to vacate a portion of the existing right-of-way and determined it was most efficient to have the city initiate the vacationing process. A portion of the right-of-way for 15th Avenue North was previously vacated by the City of Keizer at the previous property owner's request. That happened back in the early mid-'80s. A portion of the fence along the western property line of 1480 Raffel was constructed within the unused portion of the street right-of-way. Due to the shape of the street, this portion would never be needed for future street widening. Options to resolve this issue were discussed, considered, including the relocating of the fence and vacating a portion of the right-of-way. Staff discussed the methods available to vacate that right-of-way, and it was determined that having the city initiate the process was the preferable method. The property owner has agreed to pay the costs of the vacation. The property owners agreed to pay the costs, as I mentioned, up to $1,000. Staff believes the total cost will be less than $1,000. These costs involved are surveying costs, mailing costs, publication costs, posting costs, and recording costs. The attached resolution only initiates the process. The council will hold a public hearing after which the council can decide whether or not to approve the vacationing. Council authorization is required to initiate this process for the vacation of right-of-way. Alternatives are adopt the attached resolution initiating the vacation process and setting a public hearing, do nothing, the fence will remain in the right-of-way, or require the property owner to relocate the fence outside of the right-of-way. Staff recommends the City Council adopt the attached resolution, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Mr. Layer. Counselors, any question on the staff report? All right, Counselor Reed.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2024, initiating vacation process for a portion of 15th Avenue North, Keizer, Oregon.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt Resolution R 2024, initiating the vacation process for a portion of 15th Avenue North, Keizer, Oregon. Discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, seeing none, motion carries. All right, event fee waiver for the Keizer Chamber of Commerce State of the City Luncheon. This looks like it goes to Mr. Wood.
Council President Starr, City Council. The Chamber of Commerce has requested a waiver of the use fees for the State of the City Luncheon on March 12th, 2024. The letter requesting the use fee waiver is attached. The registration fee for attendance at this event is $15 for chamber members and $20 for non-members. The use rate for the event center, room Iris B, is $75 per hour, and that includes a nonprofit 25% discount for a minimum of 4 hours or $300 in total. The chamber has requested access to the room from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the day of the event. The chamber has also requested use of the stage for an additional charge of $200. Staffing fees are included in the rental fee. Staff will be required to set up the room prior to the event, cover during the event, and then clean, restore the room after the event. The approximate staff time is about 6 hours, totaling about $300. Your options tonight are to accept the fee waiver, but charge for the security deposit, or take no action at all, and we will charge the regular rates for the event. Staff recommends that the City Council approve of a waiver of the event use fees of $500, but charge $750 for the refundable deposit for the Chamber of Commerce State of the City Luncheon on March 12th. And with that, if you have any additional questions, I'd be free to address those.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Any questions on this staff report? Ms. Gus, Mr. Thompson, are you here to address this item or the next item or both? Both. Great. Is there anything you would like to share? Come up to the table and share. And just a reminder to state your name and your city of residence, please. Thank you.
Thank you. For the record, Jonathan Thompson, Keizer, live on Trent Avenue, and I am the treasurer of the Keizer Chamber Board. I always appreciate coming before you because I learned something. I just learned that I have to clear my vacations through Mr. Lawyer now, so I will be in touch. But other than that, just initiate the process. Gotcha. So I think Mr. Wood captured it quite well. The Keizer Chamber, just for history, has hosted the State of the City address for as long as any of us could remember. We do charge for lunch, but and PGE has been a long time sponsor, which we're grateful for. But this helps us keep the costs down. So we think it's a great partnership with the city, and we would appreciate your yes vote.
Ms. Gus, do you have anything to add?
No, you said it all.
Great. Okay, thank you. Any questions for the chamber? Okay.
I move the Keizer City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fees of $500, but charge the refundable security deposit of $750 for the Keizer Chamber of Commerce State of the City Luncheon event on March 12th, 2024.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. The Keizer City Council approved the requested waiver of the event center use fees of $500, but charge the refundable security deposit of $750 for the Keizer Chamber of Commerce's State of the City Luncheon event on March 12, 2024. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Right, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Mr. Wood, the event center fee waiver for the Keizer Chamber of Commerce Percy auction.
Council President Starr, City Council, I appreciate this. The Keizer Chamber of Commerce has requested a waiver of use fees for the annual Keizer Network of Women Percy auction scheduled for May 2nd, 2024. The letter requesting the fee waiver is attached to the staff report. The event is open to the public and tickets are available for purchase at $40 per person. The event is a fundraiser to support the Keizer Network of Women Holiday Giving Basket Program. The Chamber of Commerce or the Keizer Network of Women do not profit at all from any of the funds raised. The use rate for the event center ballroom is $187.50 per hour and includes a 25% discount for Keizer-based 501c nonprofit organizations, along with a refundable security deposit of $1,500. The Chamber has requested access to the ballroom on March 1st, 2024 from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and on March 2nd, 2024 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I do have a correction to the staff report. They are requesting to use the room on March 3rd as well to do some cleanup, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to have to clean up the night of the event either.
Do you mean May? Do you mean May?
May, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Gosh, where am I? Which month am I in? So the revised fee waiver is for $5,825, not the $5,075 as stated in the staff report. Let's see, your options tonight are approve the event center use waiver or take no action, and we'll continue to charge the regular rates as applicable to the nonprofit. With that, if there's any additional questions.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Any questions? I'm going to go with,
I have a question. Is this on? Can you hear me?
can you hear me now?
Okay,
Can you
perfect.
hear me now?
Am I hearing that you want the motion now to read 5,875?
5,825.
Okay. So did you get that?
Yeah, that was my question.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I love, this is great. Teamwork. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. And that was your question?
Yeah, but I just did follow up. So
Yeah.
the deposit and the third-party security are the same?
The deposit is separate, and we are requesting not to waive that, and then also not waive the
The charge,
third-party
yeah,
security.
But, okay.
Correct.
But those numbers are the same
Yep,
and good for the
correct.
motion
Those don't
too?
change.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Counselor Kohler?
Thank you, Shaney.
I love it, yes.
Mr. Wood, the $225, is that because of the alcohol, the
That is
additional
correct.
security? Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions on this staff report? Ms. Gust, Mr. Thompson, take just a few minutes, couple minutes, please, and just share with those that are watching at home the importance of this fundraising event and what the funds raised here do within our community.
Sure. So the Keizer Network of Women every year holds a, sorry, I'm short, like I say. Every year we hold a women's auction. It's a dinner, it's an auction. We invite the teachers from the schools. Last year we had C-Tech and the Bus Barn come. We invite them free of charge. We do ask for sponsors. We do a silent auction. We gather donations from people in the community. All of the donations, all of the money raised goes to fund our holiday giving basket program, which funds we work with all the schools here in Keizer, and they identify families who are in need. And we provide a need and a want, or a clothing and a toy item and a food box for those families that get distributed the first part of December. So our goal this year is to earn about $20,000 to help with that program. We purchase the food, we get volunteers who put it all together. It's a great event, it's fun, and it is extremely rewarding to watch us be able to dote on the teachers who work so hard to identify those kids, those families, and get them in contact with us.
Great, thank you. And how many, in 2023, how many families did you serve?
We served 298 families, that's roughly 1,300 kids.
Great, thank you so much. All right, Counselor Kohler?
Thank you, Shaney. So who can come to this?
So it is a women's event, but the MAC guys here in Keizer do come and sell necklaces. They help people to their tables. They make it a fun event, so we do invite them, but primarily it has been a women's event. But
everyone is welcome, right?
Exactly. Okay. We are not going to turn away someone. I believe Lyndon came last year, the last 2 years, and has had just as much fun.
Thank you. Any other questions? Great. Counselor Reed?
I move the Keizer City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fee of $5,825, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,500 and third-party security of $225 for the Keizer Chamber of Commerce Percy auction on May 2nd, 2024.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fee of $5,825, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,500 and the third-party security of $225 for the Keizer Chamber of Commerce Percy auction on May 2nd, 2024. Discussion? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Thank you. Best of luck. All right, the next item on the agenda, 'tis the season, Event Center fee waiver, Joys of Living Assistance Dogs graduation. Mr. Wood.
I feel like I've done this before tonight. The Joys of Living Assistance Dogs, JLAD, has requested a waiver of the rental fee for use of 2 Iris rooms in the Keizer Event Center for their service dog graduation event on April 20th, 2024. The use rate for the event center for Iris Room A and B is $150 per hour, and that includes the nonprofit 25% discount for 5.5 hours or $825 in total, along with a refundable security deposit of $1,150. JLAD has requested access to the room from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the day of the event. JLAD has also requested use of the stage and projector for an additional charge of $225. In addition to use fees, third-party security personnel will be required during the hours of alcohol service at an additional charge of $112.50. Staffing fees are included in the use fee. Staff will be required to set up the room prior to the event, cover the event, and then clean and restore the room after the event. The approximate staff time is 7.5 hours or $375. Your options are to approve the fee waiver or take no action and will charge the regular rates. The staff recommends that the City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fees of $1,050, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,150 and third-party security of $112.50 for the dog graduation event on April 20th, 2024. With that, if there are any additional questions?
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Council have any questions on this staff report? Councilor Reed?
Thank you, Shani. So I just wanted to get the numbers straight again, because, okay, so the use fees of $1,050 is including what again?
That's including the use rate for the room and the projector and stage.
Okay, so that $825 in total is not really in total?
No, that is just for the room itself. So
Okay.
the $850 plus the $225 is the $1,050.
Okay, and then that's not including the staffing fees?
That is not including the security for the alcohol service.
No, but the staffing fee, it says that, okay, so staffing fees are included in the use fee totaling $375.
Correct.
So that's part of that $1,050?
Correct.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Obi, nap time is over. I'd like to invite Mr. Whalen, come on Obi, nap time's over, to share about JLAD and what they do. And we heard a little snippet of what's to come from JLAD for CODA, but Gary, would love to hear from you. It was a very long walk, yes.
Council President, councilors, thank you. Mr. Woods, I presented everything with one exception, maybe my confusion, but you said we are not serving alcohol in this, but there's still a security fee, right?
Not if you're not serving alcohol.
There is no alcohol.
Okay.
And
I was wondering about that.
Lily? Oh, okay.
So that's just a correction there.
Okay.
This is the second time we have asked to use the facility here for our dog graduation. And since the last time we've done it, the program has grown. At that time, we only... Is that better, Kyle? Okay, at that time, we were just simply using the Eastern Oregon Correctional Facility in Pendleton. Since then, we've expanded the adults in incarceration at the Tillamook Forest Camp and also at OSCI right out here on Highway 22. With that comes hopefully more dogs, and we always need more volunteers, socializers, which is a real privilege to be. But this year, for our April graduation, it looks like we're gonna have 14 dogs being given to Forever Homes as recipients. 5 of those are veterans, disabled veterans, that JLAD provides at no charge to the veteran as a thank you for their service.
And that's really all there is to it. We're growing and we're excited about that. The opportunity to work with this program is, for me, is a real privilege. And I was glad to hear too that Lieutenant Nelson is going to take CODA to JLAD for some in-house training. And I'm sure that CODA will turn out to be a good representative as well.
Great.
That's all.
Thank you, Gary. Anybody have any questions or comments for? Great. Thank you. Obi, time to wake up again. All right, Counselor.
Council President Starr?
Yes.
So are we now going to
Take that
get
out.
rid of, amend by interlineation, the words "and third-party security" of 11250 from the motion?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you. Councilor Reed?
I move the Keizer City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fees of $1,050, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,150 for the Joys of Living Assistance Dogs graduation event on April 20th, 2024.
Perfect, second.
Great. It's been moved and seconded. The Keizer City Council approved the requested waiver of the event center use fees of $1,050, but charged the refundable security deposit of $1,150 for the Joys of Living Assistance Dogs graduation event on April 20th, 2024. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you very much for all you do, JLAD. All right, the next order of business is the event center fee waiver for CASA of Marion County for the We Are for the Children annual luncheon. Looks like, Mr. Wood, you are popular tonight.
I don't know how I got into this. This is the final of 4 requests for fee waivers. CASA of Marion County has requested a waiver of the use fees for the We Are for the Children annual luncheon on October 10th, 2024. The letter requesting the use fee waiver is attached. The use rate for the event center ballroom is $600, which is a nonprofit discounted fundraiser rate for Keizer-based 501c organizations, and that's for the entire day. CASA has also requested access to the room from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the day of the event. CASA has also requested use of the stage, 2 projectors, and a dedicated internet line for an additional charge of $350. The staffing fees are included in the use fee. Staff will be required to set up the room prior to the event, cover during the event, and then clean and restore the room after the event. The approximate staff time is 9 hours, totaling $450. Your options tonight are to approve the waiver of the event center use fee or take no action, and the city will charge the regular applicable use fees for access to the room. Staff recommends that the city council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fee of $950. That is the room rate plus the projector, stage, and internet charges, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,500 for the cost of Marion County. We Are for the Children annual luncheon on October 10th, 2024. And with that, is there any questions?
Counselors, any questions? Okay, Ms. Collins, would you like to come up and share?
It's really hard to follow dogs. I don't even know, is this on? How do I know if it's on?
Red light.
We made people follow dogs twice, so it.
Okay, I can't tell, is it on? Does it sound like it's on? Okay, hi, my name is Jennifer Collins and I am representing CASA of Marion County. We are very excited to bring this event to Keizer, as I think that some people believe that Marion County stops literally as you hit out of Salem. And because we do serve Marion County all the way up to Woodburn, we are looking forward to absolutely having some new people attend the luncheon by the location and the accessibility to parking as well. So for those of you who are not familiar with CASA, it stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. And the goal of this luncheon, it's a free luncheon. We pay for the meal based off of sponsorship. And the goal is to have attendees learn more about CASA and what we do, hopefully get more volunteers, and then look for annual and monthly sustaining donors. Any questions?
Ms. Collins, if people are interested in getting involved, how would they find the organization?
they would contact myself, they would contact the executive director that is on the letter. We are also located on River Road. So we are super easy to find. We're right by the 76 station. We love drop-ins and to learn a little bit more about what we do.
Great. And your website?
www.casamarion.org.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Kate?
I move the Keizer City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fee of $950, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,500 for the Casa of Marion County We Are for the Children annual luncheon on October 10th, 2024.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. The Keizer City Council approve the requested waiver of the event center use fee of $950, but charge the refundable security deposit of $1,500 for the Casa of Marion County We Are for the Children annual luncheon on October 10th, 2024. Discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. All right. The next item, order in the matter of the application of Michael and Susie Lee for a petition and major variance on the property located at 527 Dearborn Avenue North in Keizer, case number 2023-12. Looks like this does not go to Shane. He's not here, so Mr. Lindsay.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do it. So if you guys recall last meeting, general meeting, you guys heard the appeal on this very matter. There was a hearing and several people spoke at it, and what council ordered us to do is come back with this prepared order for you to actually vote on. You guys were unanimous in your vote during the appeal, and this order is the same order that we had prepared coming out of the Planning Commission as well, and so it shouldn't be anything new. And this really does allow the Lees to be able to partition their lot in accordance with our code, but it also sets up the conditions that they have to do in order to make sure that they're following our code. And then it also allows for them to have the one variance of letting the access road be a little closer to their house, and this allows the condition for them to be able to do that with the bollards that they have next to the house. So,
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. Are there any questions on the staff report? Seeing none.
I move that the Keizer City Council adopt order in the matter of the application of Michael and Susie Lee for a partition and major variance on property located at 527 Dearborn Avenue North in Keizer, Oregon, case number 2023-12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Keizer City Council adopt order in the matter of the application of Michael and Susie Lee for a partition and major variance on property located at 527 Dearborn Avenue North in Keizer, Oregon, case number 2023-12. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right. Councilor Reed, consent calendar?
On the consent calendar this evening are A, the approval of December 11, 2023 work session minutes, and B, approval of January 22nd, 2024 work session minutes.
Are there any polls? Councilor Kohler?
I need to pull A, as I was out of town for a graduation.
All right.
All right, I move the Keizer City Council approve consent calendar item A, December 11th, 2023 work session minutes.
Second.
Great. It's been moved and seconded to approve the December 11th, 2023 work session minutes. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, abstentions?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries with one abstention being Councilor Kohler. Motion passed, right?
All right, I move the Keizer City Council approve consent item number B, January 22nd, 2024 work session minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the January 22nd, 2024 work session minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Okay, other business. This time is provided to allow the mayor, city council members, or staff an opportunity to bring new or old matters before the council that are not on tonight's agenda. I believe this goes to Mr. Brown.
Yes, Madam Council President, we're going to have a micro facilitation of our mission statement of what our consultant put together with the feedback, and then what you currently have. So I'm gonna pull up the easels. The easel is gonna face you. We're gonna see if I can plug my computer in just so the audience can see what you're looking at behind them. So,
Thank you.
It's been a while since I've attended a LAN party, Jensen.
what?
A LAN party.
Okay, I'm gonna have to use my big person voice today since my voice often doesn't carry. But, so, what we have here is the current mission statement, which reads, keep city government costs and services to a minimum by providing city services to the community in a coordinated and efficient and least cost fashion. And the one put together by our consultants with feedback from the surveys I got, we provide excellent city services to support quality of life, safety, and community for all. So most of you, I'm sure, within your different businesses and organizations know mission statement is the purpose of your organization, why you exist. So, I'm sure most of you know that because you're in big organizations and or run your own businesses. So, the way I thought I'd facilitate this is to circle phrases that you feel are really important to you, because what it ultimately comes down to is, as the governing body for the city of Keizer, it has to, whatever it comes from data, really has to have a gut check from the city council, because you're the elected representatives. And so I thought what I'd start with is by circling some of the phrases that are really important to you. And we've got multiple colors here, so I can kind of do multiple circles on the same phrases if that's what you like. And we don't necessarily have to wordsmith it tonight, but if I can get circle these phrases that are important to you, then we can come back with something. Or you might just say, I like the current one, that we already have, and we can just keep that. Or you can say, like the new one. So that's really the options here today is keep the one that exists that we've had for, I think, for near 40 years, or make some combination of the two that's proposed, or go with the new one. So let's start out by saying, by asking, what are the phrases that you feel resonate with you and the people in your circles? You know, kind of circle those.
Counselor Cross?
Thank you, Pro Temp Star. Thank you, City Manager Brown. So two things. I thought we were pressing pause on this whole strategic planning. So I guess my question is why we're bringing this section up if we're pressing pause on the rest of it?
I don't know about any pause on it. What we talked about was breaking it down, and this is the top, the very top of the strategic plan.
So when you're saying feedback, how many people are we talking out of the 38,000 people?
The original feedback was 740, I think. And then since the council opened it back up for additional comment, they've had another 140 engagements in it.
So not even 1,000.
That is pretty typical for any type of survey. What I would guard you is that that doesn't mean it's necessarily representative. If it was a random stratified sample, then 1,000 people would be pretty statistically reliable, but this isn't a random stratified sample or an even spread. It is self-selecting. It's also somewhat what they call a snowball effect, where I tell you about it and you tell somebody else about it, so you're kind of getting people of like minds. So it's not a representative sample, but that is the number of responses. 1,000 responses for our community our size is not atypical. It's difficult to get people to engage.
Yes, but it's possible. It's difficult, but a lot of things are difficult, but it's possible. So I guess that would be my counter on that. And in the proposed mission statement, I mean, there is history. I would like to see us combine that, but I'm probably having a little bit of trouble with the proposed because it says we provide excellent city services to support quality of life, safety, and community for all. I don't think we're supporting quality of life, safety when we don't have a fully funded police department, so I can't get behind that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Cross. Anyone else? Counselor Reed?
I would support the proposed mission statement. This is a vision. It is not a description of, where it encompasses both where we are now as well as serves to establish the vision. The proposed mission statement seems much more of a what, whereas the current mission seems more as a how. And so I like the different elements of the proposed mission statement, and I would support that.
Great. Thank you, Counselor Reed. Any other questions? Counselor Hessman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Mr. Brown, thank you for presenting us with this proposed mission statement 1, and then the point of comparison 2. I think we all benefit from this presentation generally. I do very much enjoy what the proposed mission statement is conveying for many of the reasons Councilor Reed is describing. I almost want to put another word in addition to excellent city services, which I know seems really confusing, right? It's like, we already said we're providing excellent services. What else do we need to say about ourselves? The word comprehensive immediately comes to mind as a potential addition. Otherwise, I think that we can tie the rest together in a nice way that encompasses the community, and those 3 attributes, quality of life, safety, community for all, do very well toward that. So I appreciate the work of the staff and the consultants on this one. I think we're getting towards something that really sticks. Thank you.
So we're going to start with open brainstorming. I'm going to write everything you say up on there you don't necessarily have to agree on it, just write it at the front.
Great, thank
And
you.
just because I write it doesn't mean it's codified.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Just looking. One question that comes to my mind, and I've done many of these processes before. This is a big thing to bite off at the end of a city council meeting. But one thing that strikes me, I don't know if it's more of a comment or a comment and a question combined, but I feel like I can't make an informed comment on the proposed mission statement when I haven't seen the feedback from the citizens that participated in all of the, whether it's surveys or, you know, community meetings, et cetera. I would love to see, and I hope we have it, like all the answers, and even if it's in an electronic format, a Google document, whatever, but what everybody said. I just feel like I'm not prepared enough. I don't have all the information to make a comment on the proposed mission statement.
Okay, I can provide all that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And not just for the mission statement, and please, for everything. I think that's something that we've all been missing. As I've thought about this process, like, what are the comments? I would have no idea what they are. So thank you. I'm gonna go, first person to touch their nose goes. Okay, Counselor Kohler.
Thank you, Shaney. I move that we move this discussion to a work session.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay. There is a motion on the table.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I would like discussion at the moment, so we can hear from Counselor Duran.
I like the proposed mission statement, but I also like the current mission statement. So I would like to see it say, we provide excellent city services to support quality of life, safety, and community for all by keeping city government costs and services to a minimum by providing services to the city in a coordinated, efficient, and least cost fashion.
So we could just take that piece of paper off and tape it to the end,
Well,
right?
and add by and keeping.
By and keeping, okay, love it. So we've captured that feedback. Is there any other discussion since we have the motion and the second on the table? Counselor Reed.
Thank you. I would like to figure out a little bit more in terms of what we would hope to accomplish in a work session. So for Mr. Brown, how do you envision this process going in terms of what would you like from us tonight versus what we could might be able to accomplish in a work session? If you can just kind of help me understand that a little bit better.
So, thank you, and I hope I don't sound like I'm shouting. Internally, I sound like I'm shouting, but that's my own wheels. If the purpose was to try to chunk this up into bite-sized pieces, and of course you have to start at the top, which the most important part is this mission statement, and then we would work ourselves down to the vision part of it, and then take each goal area that was, so there was 6 goal areas that the consultant provided you. So I can give you all of the data that we got from the consultant, so that would give you some time to digest that. And we could do a work session. It would be great to give some direction on, like, how much do you want to accomplish in a work session, maybe the mission and vision, and then tackle the goal areas after that. So just provide the direction. I'm trying to facilitate this to keep moving. However the council wants to see that go, then I'm happy to make it happen.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Counselor Reed?
Thank you. I would also like to see, as part of that information package, some mission statements from other comps, from our comparable cities, just so that we have kind of a clear idea of, you know, what a mission statement, what kinds of elements do mission statements in other cities encompass, and just to make sure that, because again, I can look at this and I can, you know, have my opinions about it, but I would like to see comps as well as that for some comparison.
Great, that's a good idea. Thank you, Counselor Reed. Anyone else on discussion about the motion on the table? Okay, it's been moved. We did second it, right? Yep. Okay, great, thank you.
I have one more question.
Counselor Reed.
Thank you. So we have a pretty full work session schedule through about April or May, from what I can see. So do we have a time frame on this? When would be a likely time that we could be able to squeeze this in?
The way we have organized those is the council president and mayor have had a discussion with me about ordering those. So that's what I anticipate, unless there's a unanimous direction or a majority direction from council to say, you know, we want to wait till after April, or we want to try to move it ahead of April.
I think that that's probably, I know that there's a lot going on for all of our city executive leadership team with budget, I'm assuming. Is that yes? Are we working? We have a lot going on. So there's some thought that I have, number one, looping the mayor into the conversation, but also I know you all have a lot on your plate with budget right now. Am I making an assumption on that? Or, because I'm not seeing any head nods from anybody saying we have a lot on our plate. So
there's a lot on
there's a lot. Okay, just making sure I'm not imagining that. So I'm thinking maybe we'll circle back to when the mayor is back in town, look at what the schedule is and also the other topics that have been proposed for a work session. And maybe bring that back as maybe an informational update at our next meeting. And maybe too, we can make a note that when we do have that conversation, Mr. Brown, we could perhaps map out a schedule of the entire process for what you talked about in terms of breaking the strategic plan down into different chunks. We could look at mapping out that entire process so we all know what we're looking at in terms of a timeline and some targets to accomplish this project. So really kind of a project management approach to moving this through the process. Does that work? Okay, so Councilor Hessman before we go to a vote.
Please finish your statement, Madam.
Nope, go ahead. I was just going to move us to a vote.
Understood. Mr. Brown, is there anything we should be mindful of regarding the city's relationship to the consultant that's helping us with the strategic plan at this time?
No, they have fulfilled what they said they were going to do. And I've told them that our council needs to break it up and take it, step back a little bit and go over it from the top all the way down through it. So they're providing any data that we need, and when we've worked through these things together, they'll happily crank out the final draft, and so the final.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion items, points before we move to a vote? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to move this project of a mission statement review to a work session. We've had discussion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed?
No.
With one opposition, that being Councilor Hessman, motion carries. All right, are there any other items for business? I'm looking around. Councilor Cross.
Thank you, Madam Pro
Star. I move in accordance with section 3.4 of our city council rules of procedure to schedule our next general meeting March 4th as a partial electronic meeting so that I may attend the meeting remotely as I am attending the MPI Cascadia Conference at the coast.
Help, Mr. Lindsay.
Okay, so I have spoken with Counselor Cross about this, and the one portion of our council rules and procedures that is on point is the electronic meeting section, 3.4. And that basically says normally all city meetings or work sessions shall be in person. So this is an appropriate use of other business to ask in advance for a partial electronic meeting so that she can be the one appearing remotely electronically, right? It says, however, the provision that she would be relying on, it says, however, upon council motion, council may schedule a future meeting or work session partially or totally electronically upon a showing of a particular need. And so I assume here the particular need is the need to be at two places at once, in a way. You have to be away on a, but she's getting permission under an allowable part of our council rules of procedure.
Great. And yeah, what was the date of that again?
March 4th.
Oh, 3.4, I wrote it down, good, okay. All right, so it's Mr. Johnson.
I'm sorry, was there a second?
Not yet, we're getting there. Okay.
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to do a partial electronic council meeting for March 4th to accommodate Councilor Cross's request, being out of town. Is there any discussion?
I have a couple questions.
Councilor Reed?
Thank you. I guess I would like to find out logistically what is involved with this, and this idea of particular need, as we were discussing these rules and procedures, the intent was to make sure that we didn't do this a lot, and that people weren't just kind of phoning it in, you know, and I'm not saying that that's what you would be doing, but this idea of particular need, that was sort of the intent and the spirit behind this. So not just, I'm not gonna be able to be here, so I need to phone it in, but you know, that particular need. So anyway, those two things are things that I would like to hear a little bit more about.
Councilor Cross?
Thank you, Councilor Reed. When I went through this with Mr. Lindsay, he reminded me that Councilor Kohler was recently allowed to attend remotely for his son's graduation, and I hear you, Councilor Reed, that yes, the intent, but I would say that I've been on council for 14 months and never have I asked for this before, so I would say that I'm within reasonable intent.
Okay, fine with that. And could we hear a little bit about the logistics?
Whoever hits the nose goes first. Okay. Mr. Wood?
Well, we have several options. Our typical setup is to have the conference call phone set up and have the dial-in number. We can do that, or we can pursue something different if we want to look at adding a Zoom kind of option. So those are typically the things that we've done in the past.
Yeah, technology-wise, it's not going to be a problem. We are actually looking at adding Zoom as a regular option for people to participate, that not with the intent that council members do it, but except when needed, like this. So.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to allow for a partial electronic meeting on March 4th for an out-of-town counselor to participate. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Great, thank you. I'm almost afraid to ask. Is there any other business? Anyone? No. Counselor Kohler.
I did call you Shaney.
I know, go ahead.
So in accordance with Robert's rules and our city council rules of procedure, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider and vote on the fee-for-service work session which passed last city council meeting.
And what is the motion? Sorry.
Motion to reconsider vote on the fee-for-service work session which passed last city council meeting.
Okay. And did you were present?
I was.
Okay.
And you voted in the majority?
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay.
If I may, Shaney?
Sure, Mr. Johnson.
Since I wasn't aware of this coming up, and Mr. Lindsay might not have been either, as I recall, that motion was to schedule this for a work session. Was that the correct motion?
Yes.
And so you'd like to reconsider the motion to have it for a work session?
I'd like to reconsider the vote on fee-for-service work session, which passed last council.
Okay, but just so everyone is clear on the council, the motion was to schedule it for a work session, right?
No, to reconsider, the original motion last meeting was to move it to a work session,
Right,
okay?
and that passed.
And that passed 4-3.
Okay. All right.
And so if we look under a motion for reconsideration, if you were the one of the people who voted in the majority last time, then it is appropriate the next regular meeting that you could entertain this, and entertaining it under other business is actually what's prescribed in your procedures.
Was there a second?
Nope.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to reconsider scheduling the fee proposal for a work session discussion. Oh, yes, Mr. Johnson.
You know,
This
I
is just
do
getting
like to
better
go
and
out
better.
with a bang, so. And Mr. Lindsay can correct me, but just to remind council, this is simply the motion to reconsider. I'm not sure it requires any debate. You're just gonna move, the motion is simply to reconsider it. If that motion passes, then you go to their motion, as I recall.
Yeah. Well,
Except that it's an odd,
yeah.
well,
No, I think the motion, is this on? Hello? Okay. So you can reconsider by majority, because the idea is that the person who voted is willing to change their vote the next meeting. So it is a by majority vote to reconsider that particular motion. So it's just a revote on that motion.
So does the motion and the second need to be changed?
No.
Okay, we're good. So I'd still like to ask for discussion if there is any. Is that appropriate?
It is.
Great, thank you. Counselor Reed?
Thank you. So I just wanted to be sure that I understood this. So you're saying you don't want to bring this fee question to a work session?
Correct.
So if we vote no on this motion, then we are saying we do still want to bring it to a work session. That's what a no vote means, is that we do want to bring it to a work session.
Well, the motion to reconsider is to revisit the vote of the prior vote. So for purposes of simplicity, just vote how you did last time if you want to continue to vote the same way, which is, do you want the work session or not?
Okay. Can I ask for clarification?
Sure.
If we still want a work session?
Yes.
On the fee issue, right?
Yeah.
We vote no.
No, vote, that's why I'm saying for purposes
Because I think, I'm just, this is a confusing, and I want to make sure we get it. I want it to be crystal clear on what the wording should be.
Okay.
If people want to vote to keep a work session on the fee issue.
Okay, that if you want to keep a work session on the work fee or the fee issue, vote yes. You want that work session.
But that was not the motion.
Well, the motion is to reconsider that vote, which is to say, since he's in the majority that voted for it last time, it's basically a revote.
Okay. Good? So if you want it to continue, I just want to make sure people are clear. If you want the issue to go forward to the work session, we are voting. That is hard for me to get my head around at 9:30 at night. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to just make sure that that's accurate. So I can have another Girl Scout cookie.
Do you think it is a separate vote? Let me
I'm going to have to.
What's your flavor,
Clashes
Counselor?
with Thin Mints.
What's your flavor, Council President Starr? Thin Mint? For the record.
I'm half a sleeve in this meeting.
Yeah, well, but it just says, let's see, after it's been reconsidered, so. Yeah. The motion is to reconsider the vote. If you vote yes, you're gonna reconsider the vote. If you vote no, you're not. That's what it said. Yeah, no, I get that. Thank you. Well, I just want to make sure. Well, so here's the motion. And then it's going to reconsider and show them. Yeah, but I don't think that's, I think it's one.
Don't laugh, we could have 3 attorneys here.
Yeah. Why? A motion to reconsider, it's like a revote of the original.
Might as well try to polish the whole thing off.
It is the same thing, it's gonna be the same vote anyway. Is this? Okay, we were on the whole time anyway. Here's the way we're looking at it, is we believe that either one would get you to the same place, which is you could vote to just reconsider specifically and then have a vote on it again, or you could treat that reconsideration as a vote to just vote again. And so I will say, why don't we do them separately, because you want to make sure that we're on the record. So let's vote to reconsider whether or not you're going to vote on it first. And then if there's a majority that wants to reconsider it, then you would vote on the
Got it.
motion.
That makes me not need another
So-
cookie.
Back to
That makes more sense.
Council President Cheney's point, a no vote means you don't want to reconsider it.
Right.
A yes vote means you want to reconsider it. If that motion passes, then you still discuss the main motion.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
Is everybody clear on that?
Counselor Reed?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. So I just wanted to be clear as to where this is coming from. So you want to reconsider the vote, so we don't have a work session, so we just decide this without full information? Is that where this is coming from? I want to understand, I guess, the reasoning behind the reconsideration.
You made them, Mr. Kohler, Counselor Kohler, please explain.
Thank you, Shaney. So what we want to do here is first to reconsider the vote. And if we reconsider the vote, then what I'd like to do is then we can vote to see if we still want to take it to a work session. We have, how many work sessions already? We've already talked about that tonight. How many work sessions we've got in the near future? And I'd like to remove this from the work session schedule.
Follow up?
Please.
So with the intent of not discussing this issue at all, or I guess I don't quite understand why you wouldn't want a work session on this if we are going to understand this issue more fully.
Counselor Kohler?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. So if we positively reconsider this and we vote again not to take it to a work session, then another motion could be made to have staff actually prepare a motion that we can discuss and vote on it in a later council meeting.
So without fully understanding it, go right to the resolution.
We would discuss it at a future council meeting without having a work session on it.
Okay?
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to reconsider the vote to send the fee issue to a work session. All those in favor, please signify. Yeah. I know. Want a cookie? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No?
No. Okay. So you're going to reconsider the vote?
So the motion passes, so now you can discuss.
Oh, whoops. Motion passed.
Yeah. So now the motion passed 4-2, so now you can.
You'd need another motion.
Now you need a motion, and it's the original motion, to whether this goes to a work session or not. And while I have the floor, if I may, if that motion passes, and since it's not on the agenda, typically, we'd have to have 3 counselors want to put this on a future agenda, so I don't know if you want to get to that point. Well, why don't we just see how this motion goes first, So the motion now is whether or not to have this at the work session, the same motion that was last meeting.
Okay. I'm not making it.
It's already made. You're reconsidering the vote. You don't need a separate
I thought you said we were going to do 2 separate votes.
It is a separate vote, but you're reconsidering that previous motion. Doesn't need to be remade, if you see what I'm getting at.
No, I don't.
Well,
I need another
the previous
cookie.
motion was pretty straightforward, and that
Okay.
was to schedule the matter for a work session, and that passed. So that's the motion that's before you now.
To schedule it for a work
Yeah,
session.
whether or not you're going to schedule for a work session
Okay.
only.
All those in favor of scheduling the fee issue for a work session, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
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 So,
3-3.
3-3, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Who were the yes votes? Okay. Reed, Usman, and Starr. So the motion fails on a tie vote.
Yeah,
So since it's a
the
tie.
old motion exists.
The old motion failed, so you don't have a work session now.
Can you please stop? If you want to make a comment, you can do so on the record. Counselor Hussman?
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to explain my vote in this case. I was unclear as to the rules of procedure as well, and I was considering making an alternative motion that was not possible under the framework as I understood it. So that inspired me to change my vote to the work session, because under the work session, at least I could discuss other opportunities rather than just going straight to this vote. Essentially, the chance that I thought I had to potentially put an alternative motion on the table was not there. So I had to play procedural ball. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
I didn't bring my full case of Thin Mints, so please help me
Okay.
save us.
Well, so this matter, and we were looking at, if this is now resetting the timetable back to the original motion that was made, and clearly there were a different number of people here at that time, but because it procedurally went to the earlier motion, and any motion that you make, if it's a tie, then it doesn't prevail. And so it now, you don't have a motion to staff to set up a work session on this item. And that's where this is at now.
Counselor Kohler?
Thank you, Shaney. My understanding is with a 3-3 vote, then this just doesn't pass. It just would revert back to the earlier motion that was 4-3.
No.
No, because what it did was it caused a revote of the motion. And so the clock was turned back on that original motion, like you never voted on it. And so then now you pass, or a 3-3 motion wouldn't pass. It would be a tie. And so under a tie, then the motion doesn't go forward. It just dies on the table.
So there, if I may, there's nothing pending before council now. So if 3 councilors want to put a future item on the agenda, they can again do so. But there's no item before council right now, and we don't have an item on the agenda. So to put an item on the agenda, you'd have to move to suspend the rules. So my suggestion, it's totally up to council, would be to wait to see if 3 councilors want to put the item back on the agenda, since that's the way this has gone down.
Okay, so we're going to move on in the agenda. Okay, thank you. Staff updates. We'll just,
No further updates, Madam Council President.
from Mr. Brown. How about you, Ms. DePina? Mr. Wood?
I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with Shannon Johnson, City Attorney Emeritus.
Thank you.
I have a lot of stories that I'll remember for a long time. I think I still look forward to your little sticky notes that you bring that Tammy prepares for you. So I'm hoping that that continues. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Ms. Bissett?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Lieutenant Wenning?
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Starr. Just a couple of things from the police department. We've geared up the process for the next sergeant. Sergeant Rodney Bamford is now retiring. He'll be gone at the end of this month, beginning of next month, and with 30-plus years of service to several different agencies. So we started gearing up a process a couple weeks ago, and on Monday and Tuesday of next week, we'll be looking to promote through interview, well, Monday and Tuesday, we'll do our interviews. By the end of the week, hopefully we'll have a new sergeant at least announced. So we're moving forward with that. We started a new officer, excuse me, today. That's been in the works for over a year. We finally got approval from Mr. Wood and Mr. Brown to get that process started, and he finally started his first day today. You'll meet him probably next month, I believe on the 4th for the swearing in, and he'll start the academy in April. And then we are also in the next 2 weeks going to be starting another process. We've been authorized to backfill one position, which would be one of the many that we have currently. And we're hoping that we'll get some laterals, which would get us on board much quicker. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Mr. Lawyer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. One thing, the solar speed signs that we ordered for Alder Drive, we just got notified today that the shipping is delayed at least another week. They're going to keep us updated. We expected them to be delivered this week or next. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but they will keep us updated on when we're going to receive them. And I want to also take a minute to say thank you to Shannon for, I don't know how many years of working together. I've learned a lot from you. I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things from me. I wish you good luck, and you need to pursue your next career as a traffic engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Lawyer. And quick question, once that delivery of that for Alder, that traffic calming device, what's the time frame for getting that installed?
Week or 2, not long.
Okay.
We just have to get some big wood posts and dig some holes and put them up, so yeah, not long.
Great,
It's all staff done, so I mean, honestly, it won't be very long.
great, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Lindsay?
I just want to, again, echo my appreciation for getting to work with Shannon and for the council's generosity in allowing that transition to actually be more than just a couple of weeks, because He's still downloading stuff to me as we speak. So it has been really important, and it's not only been really appreciated, but I think essential for the city. So I think it was wisdom and doing it that way. So my appreciation of that. And it's been a real pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson?
Thanks again to council and staff. Thanks to Joe. It's been really fun working with Joe for the last month or so. Wish it could go longer, and there is an awful lot to download. And I had this vision of I'd have this book written out for all this stuff, and it didn't work out that way. So it's been, oh, did I tell you about this? Oh, did I tell you about that? And he's very patient with, no, I don't think you told me about that one. So it's been really great. Thanks, Joe, and thank you to council.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. All right, council member reports. We're going to start down here. Councilor Reed.
Great, thank you so much. So couple quick things. Keizer Homegrown Theater's production of Boing Boing has one more week. And we went to see that last weekend, and it was quite a lot of fun. And also the student art display is being exhibited for the rest of the month, and it was also very impressive. I went to the open house for that. The Northeast Keizer Neighborhood Association met, and we had a new member join us, and so that was very fun. But just again, appreciating the online work that's being done, and all the work that Tammy and Jackie are doing in engaging and talking to neighbors, and we really appreciate that. West Keizer Neighborhood Association joined that meeting as well, and just always really impressed by not only how organized, but also informative that group is. So again, you really serve our community well. This Thursday, I have a board meeting with the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency, and then the Civic Center cleanup coming up on March 16th that we have already heard about. That's all I have.
Great, thank you, Councilor Reed. Councilor Hessman?
Shannon, Joe, you two could give the U.S. men's Olympic relay team some lessons in how to pass a baton. It's been truly wonderful watching your cooperation, and Shannon, once again, thank you for your many years of service. And Joe, thank you for your many weeks of service. More and more to come. That's all I've got for you tonight. Thank you, Shani.
Thank you. Councilor Kohler?
Wait, did you say that Mr. Lindsay had weak service? I'm trying to figure this out. It's been pretty
Oh my gosh. Councilor Duran? No.
It's been a very interesting meeting. Thank you for everything, everybody. So, Keizer United this last week had the district attorney, Paige Clarkson, come, and it was very informative and very good. Keizer United is doing some really great things. Saturday, May 4th, Keizer Elementary is having a bike safety and haircuts and a whole bunch of different things. They're going to have a kind of a big party. I think they're going to hold that at McNary on May the 4th, Saturday, May the 4th. We all attended the Long Range Planning Task Force, of course, and then I think most of us were at the Chamber Greeters for the Rec Grange. Pretty substantial addition to our community. I attended the Parks Board meeting. In addition to the things that were talked about, there were some ADA concerns that we wanted to address, and I'm sure will find its way to a Traffic Safety Bike Ped Committee soon. I attended the County Commissioners meeting where we talked about some great things, and then Chamber Graders this morning. There on the 28th, there's a number of things going on. There's the COG meeting over, where is that? Anyway, Grand Ron, I think. But the Keizer Community Dinner is also that night. So try to encourage the community to come and support the Keizer Community Dinner on the 28th. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Councilor Kohler. Councilor Duran?
I have nothing this evening.
I know you want a cookie. Counselor Cross?
I am going to zoom through and thank you all for a lively city council meeting. I'm sure, Pro Term Mayor Starr appreciated it. Last couple of weeks since our last city council meeting, I attended the Salem Chamber Lunch where Get With Nell was a speaker, Salem Chamber Monthly Forum with Congresswoman Andrea Salinas, the Rec Grange Ribbon Cutting, Travel Salem Sports Area Commission meeting, the Salem Fire Foundation Breakfast with the Chiefs breakfast, Salem Area Lodging Association Board meeting, SEDCOR Luncheon, Marion County Commissioners meeting, the Salem Chamber, Salem Leadership Panel, where I attended with Mayor Clark, and the YMCA Government Affairs Committee, and then I attended the Oregon Restaurant Lodging Association Legislative Reception, so Representative Keizer. Thank you all.
Youth Counselor?
Oop, thank you. I'll just do
Shaney
Shaney. Yeah,
works,
there
yeah.
we go. Okay, McNary, we got a pretty busy performing arts this month and the start of March. So on February 27th, we have the McNary Area Choir Concert from 7 to 9 p.m. And then on the 28th, the day after, we have the Winter Band Concert from 7 to 8:30 at McNary. And then the day after, again, we have on the 29th, we have the orchestra concert from 7 to 8:30 as well. And then March 1st, McNary has our blood drive. And then for more performing arts, even more, on the 2nd of March, there's a solo and ensemble festival from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So all day solo and ensemble. If you're interested in orchestra, any of that stuff, it's going to be really fun. I have some friends playing in it. I'll probably stop by, see how it's going. And March 5th, there's the OSU Band Festival, which is at OSU, and McNary will be partaking, and their band will be there too. So, yep, that's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those updates. I just want to thank my colleagues for going easy on me on my first meeting sitting in for the mayor. Last meeting I covered, we were out in under 5 minutes. So I don't know whose Cheerios I messed in. Let's see, February 7th, had a Safe Routes to School walk with West Keizer neighborhood at Cummings Elementary. So that was lovely to walk with Miss Rhonda and Miss Carolyn. That same day, we also had a Travel Salem meeting to share with them the projects that we have coming up and that we're working on here in the city of Keizer. Had an opportunity to observe the municipal court judge that same night. And then on February 8th, I had a library meeting, attended that, doing great work there. Long Range Planning Task Force, Grange ribbon cutting. I really want to encourage the community, if you're looking for a place to volunteer, look at the rec and the Grange. They're going to need a lot of support from our community to work with our youth. The 15th, Board of Commissioners met with I think most of us from Keizer and one lone brave city councilor from Salem, Councilor Hoy, Julie Hoy. And then this morning I had the opportunity to attend the Chemeketa President's Advisory Circle. What an amazing gem we have in our community in Chemeketa Community College. As you might have seen, it is Girl Scout cookie time, so make sure you just say yes when you see them knocking on your door or outside your local neighborhood store. March 9th, I believe, March 9th is the date of our Keizer Civic Center cleanup?
16th.
16th, 9th, 16th, I could have come and raked stuff on the 9th, but anyway, March 16th. Please mark that down in your calendars. And then also a Keizer Rotary event on April 6th coming up. So raising money to do good work in our community. That is all that I have. Agenda input. Monday, February 26th, we have our second Long Range Planning Task Force meeting, 6 p.m. Monday, March 4th, City Council regular session, 7 p.m. Monday, March 11th, 6 p.m. joint work session with the Keizer City Council and Community Diversity Engagement Committee. And Monday, March 18th, 2024, 7 p.m., another City Council regular session. And with that, it is 9:55 and we are adjourned.